Hello, this is Amy from One Mommy Scrapping. I had a 2-page process video I wanted to share with you. I actually did this a couple months ago. It was a layout challenge from the 2Ps refugee site. And while I recorded it, I never actually had the guts to make it into a process video to upload to YouTube. So I have been playing around with iMovie and editing, and I finally figured out how to speed it up so it doesn't take an hour to show you my process video. So you can see the pictures that I chose. They're from an older collection from Fancy Pants called Finally Fall from 2012, I think. I had won that way back when it was a new collection and then never used it. Here I am inking my papers. I love to ink edges, even though I do an absolutely abysmal job of it. I have inking envy of the people who are online who can ink so beautifully. But with the 2-page layout, I leave the gap in the middle where I don't ink those edges. So let's see here. I'm just touching up because some parts you can hardly see it and some parts you can. Now, this is the, it was very quickly, the layout that I was following, the sketch. These are from a trip to the beach from 2007? No, yes, 2007. Trip to Myrtle Beach with my husband and sister. This was a few months before I got pregnant. And we went to Margaritaville. My husband is a huge Jimmy Buffett fan. And I'm kind of pointing out why I'm putting the pictures in the order I am, because they're completely out of order from how I actually took them. But I think it actually works well in this order because the blender is, the size makes sense, even if it doesn't quite make sense the other way. If you've ever been to the Margaritaville in Myrtle Beach, you'll know that they have Hurricane Myrtle in there. And a large bottle of Margaritaville vodka comes out of the top and makes a margarita. Or not vodka, excuse me, tequila. I know what I'm talking about. So I've pulled the papers, and the line, even though this is a summer layout, the line I chose to go with is, like I said, a fall layout. And the reason I chose that line, even though everything seemed to be like leaves in fall, were because the colors went beautifully well. The orange was a great match for the tequila bottle and for the general decor of the restaurant. And then the kind of aqua light teal color there works very well in general with the accent, because you see a lot of that. I ended up choosing a lot more stripes than I meant to for this layout. That orange stripe you see there almost reminds me of kind of a weird wood grain type thing. And I think I'm just continually looking over at the layout. That's why you're kind of not seeing anything happen. I'm looking at the sketch, not the layout. I'm making the layout. Hello there. Trying to check all my measurements and stuff and make sure everything is correct. Because when I'm given a sketch like the one I was given, I do like to follow it pretty exactly. I did change some things, like the sketch had a smaller photo. Now, there's a big cut there. I'm recording this on my iPhone, and my phone decided to ring. And then I went and ended up hanging up, getting a bunch of stuff cut out, and then realizing I forgot to turn the video back on. Oops, sorry about that. But I cut things and inked. So let's be honest, I think we all know what happens with that. So I'm now trying to arrange all of the little strips, and it gets out of frame a little bit, and I apologize for that. Like I said, this is the first time I really have made videoed a page like this. I've done some since, and I'm slowly improving. We'll see how the voiceover works. I finally figured out iMovie, like I said at the beginning. I'm talking about putting the picture there in the corner. I believe that's where they have the journaling, if I recall correctly. I didn't want the journaling there, though. I didn't have very much to say. I actually have quite a few photos of this trip, and quite a lot from visiting Margaritaville itself, which seems a bit on the odd side. I mean, I was amazed at how many pictures when I was looking through everything I printed out. And I printed out a bunch of them. I even print out everything I took. But I think I printed out, of the Margaritaville pictures, probably about 2 dozen. And I'm like, we only went there once. How do I have 2 dozen pictures? So I know a lot of the pages will just be pages and will not have too much actual journaling on, because I can only journal so much about each event or one trip to Margaritaville. We did have a really good time. I mean, that is a fun place to go. Even if you don't like margaritas or like drinking or anything like that, it's got good food. It's a fun atmosphere. We tend to go for lunch because it's a lot less crowded at lunchtime. And even then, we won't go at noon. Let's see here if I can attempt to get my pictures to go down. I have trouble with my ATG sometimes. Sometimes it gives me like these little glue balls, and it's a little on the annoying side. Now, for this, I could have cut strips for the top and bottom, but I wanted everything to be lined up, and I had that paper. If I've not used it, it's been 5 years since I had that line came out. So I really don't mind using it, and I know essentially wasting it, but I really don't care at this point. I mean, I'm glad I'm actually using the stuff. I'm trimming off because not everything, that particular trimmer I had, I've since replaced it. It is I really like it. It just seems to cut everything at a slightly off angle, and I don't know why. It didn't always do that. I'm trying to make sure it's going to line up over the 2 pages. Sorry, you see the top of my head. I'm working on it. It's not quite perfect, but it's close enough for what it needs to be. And then here's our photo of us, the 3 of us. We there was someone making balloon art animals and stuff, and she was on stilts. So we gave her my camera, and she took a picture of us from up top, which I thought was cool. This sketch had a lot of little like page flag type things at the bottom. So I took some of those extra strips and used those. And then you see the 1-inch hole punch. I saw someone say you could do notches very easily, and I'm sure you can. I just really stink at it. I can't seem to get it lined up well in there. And I actually think it's easier for me to use the scissors, to be completely honest. So I'm adding in some of those little flags. And then quite a few go along the bottom overall. And here I am. I'm trying it again. I'm getting a little better. I think maybe with just a little bit of practice I could do it. But these extend all the way across. And the photo actually ends up on top of it. So there we go. Look at that. First try again. I'm still just trimming and cutting. And I don't flip my photo around because I put the glue on the back before I realized, oh wait, I needed to actually get the strips cut out. Otherwise, it's a little on the frustrating side trying to get a bunch of teeny tiny strips cut when your photo is on top of them. I'm constantly having to peel layers up. I did that today. Forgot to put my washi tape down on a layout I did today. Luckily, there wasn't too much. So I want to mimic some of those stripes from the top and on the bottom. I want to do some of the orange as well. I've got lots of it. Now this little piece, surprisingly, I didn't think I was going to end up using it when I had it left over, but it actually worked quite well where I ended up putting it. So I was glad I didn't just toss it. I have a habit of just taking little bits like that sometimes and just tossing it, not even thinking about it. Oh, it's too small. I don't need it anymore. And then I'm like, oh, I do need it. And then I have to dig through the trash. I really hope I'm not the only one that does that. So I'm finally gluing those stripes down. And like I said, you can see I have so many different stripes. I've got the orange, kind of wood greeny one. I've got the light teal one. I have and I have the multicolor one. Now I cut that one in half because I know the photo is going to go on top of it. So I can make it larger and not really have to worry about the fact that no one's going to know that there's a big gap missing inside. I do that a lot, actually. I do that a lot with 6x6 pads. I'm constantly cutting it out and layering stuff over the middle so you can't see. So there, I've got it, trying to get it in the exact right spot, which I end up deciding I need to trim just a smidge off the actual photo. There we go. And there we are. And adding more, and I'm having the flags go in a little different direction than I do on the other side, so everything kind of points, not necessarily points, but you know, goes towards the middle with the little notched edge ends going to the edge. So where I can talk, trimming off the part that's overlapping just a little bit, re-inking because now I've cut off the part that was inked. And then I have to do it on the left side as well. Matching everything back up. Now comes the more fun part. I get to do the embellishments and the title. That's always my favorite part to do. Journaling happens to be my least favorite part of any scrapbook page. And I kind of don't know what I'm doing right here because I'm obviously not on the screen. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm looking for letters. I was trying to come up with some letters that would work. Now, you see the brown ones in the top right corner. I ended up not using those really. They just didn't feel like the right font for this page. So I pulled out some of my favorite ones. I pulled out some of the Fitzgerald ones from, I think there's Journal. The Journal ones, thickers from American Crafts. I love foam, and I love the foam glitter ones. And if it's a tall, thin alphabet, I'm going to want it, no doubt. Now, my title is going off of, excuse me, I'm trying to shift a little bit. My title is going off of a sign that happens to be in there. It says, Trespassers will be offered a shot. And with the letters, there it is. That's the sign I'm trying to do. So trespassers will be offered a shot instead of, will be shot. And so I'm trying to fit it in. I have to do and redo this title multiple times because I can't seem to get the spacing right. And I really, really need to get some of the deli paper I keep seeing people use. I just need to pick some up. Or just steal some wax paper, parchment paper from my kitchen so I can get things spaced a little better and not worry and have to pick it up and put it down and pick it up and put it down. Now I did change, I'm trying to remember exactly what I did change something on the title compared to what is in the picture. I don't remember what it was though. So I'm going to fit all the little stuff in there. And I end up going with these blue ones. These I got from an October Afternoon, one of their warehouse boxes. And I was a little frustrated because you can see when I take them off and put them on the page that they're cut off. They're trimmed a little too far over. And you can even see like with the A, it's got the little edge of the A completely trimmed off. So I wasn't, that's what I changed. Sorry. I wasn't really happy, but I wanted to go ahead and use them anyways. What I changed was will be in shot were the big letters, and that's what I wanted in gold. And then I realized it wouldn't fit with the amount of space I had. So I went ahead and changed it just to the Trespassers and put everything else in the little blue letters. And then it actually fit quite nicely in there. All right, now I'm trying to do my journaling. And you can see, I mean, from the look of this, it clearly looks very fall-like. Leaves and everything. But I went ahead and found this particular journaling card, which I thought did work well enough. the flowers, because when it's isolated away from the trees and the leaves, felt more tropical than like fall mum type thing. So I can add my journaling in there. Gotta ink the edges. And I always use Distress ink for my, well, mostly I use Distress ink to do all of my inking. It's just, I like just how it produces a softer look. Alright, and then I had pulled because I thought the colors worked really well with this copper rose gold washi tape color. So I had a couple different ones. I had a white tape with copper hearts on it, and then I had a copper tape with white hearts on it, and then I just had a solid copper. So I'm just adding some to where the little arrows are, or page flags, I guess. And you can't really see it at the bottom because I can't seem to get my layout in the frame. I'm going to have to work on that, I know. Let's see here. This is so exciting watching me do stuff that you can't even see, isn't it? Just adding some more into each of the places that I plan on doing embellishments. And I do like the look of the tape actually holding it on. I mean, obviously we all know I actually taped it, but I end up not using the other two washi tapes, at least for this particular layout, in some other ones that I did of this trip to Margaritaville. I did put in the other washi tapes. But this is pretty much it. I just need to add the journaling. I'll show you some shots. Have a great day. Bye.